So do you ever surf the internet and go, oh my wow, I need to do that please? That's how I felt when I saw Dunkey was running a game jam with his publisher BigMode. You see, I'm a big Dunkey fan, and I'm also a game developer, if you haven't noticed. And maybe one day, both of those worlds will combine and Dunkey will pay me to make games. But for now, I'm just excited to get that trophy that the winner gets. So I hit up my crew and we waited for the jam to start. Hey everybody, my name is Keith, and I make games. Okay. So I want to try to take a journalistic approach to this video, meaning that I am going to attempt to write and edit this video per day as I make the game, so that for one, I can have a video almost done when I'm finished, and two, the emotion and intrigue is updated per day. So if the story feels a bit disjointed and the editing is a bit lax, it's because it's more accurate to real life. The first thing that happened in the day is that we finally got the theme, and the theme is mode. Very creative, Dunkey. It's about as original as if the theme was Donkey, but whatever. We spent basically all the workday discussing what we're going to do in order to achieve this theme. We ended up landing on the phrase mode of transportation. To achieve this, the main concept is that you drive in a car and try not to run out of gas. That's really the long and short of it. We also might add wings in a boat to the car to add an S to the modes of transportation, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My first actual dev task was to set up and model the car, and wow, I'm not that great at modeling cars. And we're done modeling! I took inspiration from the Goofy movie and looked at some old cars, and look at it, it's so cute. I unwrapped the cute little thing, and I rigged it, and then I animated it. So here you go, day 1 complete. I'm already so exhausted from journaling per day, but here we go, day 2, let's go. So today was an Unreal focused day. The goal was to make a car pond that does all the things you need to do, like driving, drifting, boosting, flying, and skimming. Yeah, I know I said that when it comes to the wings and the boat parts, that we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but we crossed it, and we decided let's do it, baby. The first thing I did was try to replicate my original car structure. For those who don't know, I tried to make a car system last year. It was pretty much a success. So I decided to do that again. I made some proxy models using Unreal's modeling system, then I added physics constraints, and it works perfectly. It works perfectly. I made an isometric camera, and then I started to work on the actual car itself. The rest is pretty straightforward, with absolutely no errors whatsoever. Wait a minute, what's happening? My car is going straight up the wall! So I unintentionally created a climbing system by not letting the car know what incline it can't go up, so let me fix that. No, keep it. Really? Yeah, I ironically think that it would be more fun this way. Oh, okay. Easy enough. And just like that, we have a wobbly car that climbs walls, and I won't lie, it's pretty fun, and I think it's a good mix of rage game and fun game. I replaced the proxy models with the actual car model, and look how cute this car is driving around. Oh my god. I even made the little sack at the top jiggle. Oh, so cute. I made the car jump because cars do that. Then I made it glide because cars do that. Then I made it drift. Cars actually do that. Then lastly, I add fuel to the game. I made it so the car is less of a gas guzzler, and now it's actually good for the environment because it recycles gas by drifting and gliding. How thoughtful. While I was working, Brendan was texturing the car and fantasizing about us going on a road trip together. Alright, so I gave up on editing every day. It was just too much work and I felt dead every time I went to work. So yeah, I like not feeling that way. Anyway, on to day 3. So today was a lax day. I took it pretty easy to rest after the intense first couple days. I met with the boys, and we made a roadmap for how we're going to finish the game in time, and it's looking pretty good. I'm happy with the progress so far. I fixed the bugs with the car, like the infinite jumping glitch. Leave, foul demon. There was a glitch where the car would suspend itself in the air, so I fixed that. Let's test this out. What the... Oh, oops, there's supposed to be a not gate here. Whoopsies. There we go, now we're cooking with gas. I made the rivers and skis work. Yeah, those red orbs are rivers. Don't worry, they'll look like water eventually. I was kind of tired of making mechanics, so I spent the rest of the night working on the player feel. I got to work on making some smexy effects. I started modeling this puff of smoke and using Unreal's particle system, and I made this exhaust effect, and now the car has exhaust. It already helps the car look more alive. But that's not where I stopped. When you turbo, I added giant plumes of fire. Oh well, it looked big at least. I felt like there still wasn't enough oomph, so I tried adding some camera shake. Turn that down some. I played with the camera settings and now it slightly zooms out, giving it a faster feel. I made this white radial material to use for some wind effects. Oh wait, Unreal already has this material. So I used Unreal's built-in material and cranked up the spawn rate, and that looks awful. That looks really bad. So I opted to use a ribbon particle effect instead. Well, that's a lot of jiggle. I implemented a new gliding animation so it doesn't jiggle so much, and wow, that is so much nicer. Next, I wanted to try and show more dynamic aspects to the car, so say hello to Dude. Yeah, I didn't feel like naming him, so Dude was good enough. It gave him a simple rig, Dude root, Dude neck, Dude head. Crazy stuff, I know. I animated him craning his neck. I tried shoving him into the driver's seat, but he was too big. Bye, Dude. Now when you reverse, Dude will roll down his window and look out. Then I was still young, so I went ahead and added some skid marks. I still needed to make checkpoints, so I contemplated with the team for how we wanted to proceed. And while we did that, a new challenger arrived. I don't think this should be a disqualification since people were still asking for teams in the BigMode chat and there isn't a rule about it. So, hello Sam, welcome to the crew. I thought it would be cool if the checkpoints were gas stations, but Brendan brought up a good point. Why would there be gas stations in the middle of nowhere? That doesn't make any sense, which he's right, so we decided to make camps instead. I went ahead and started modeling the different pieces and I felt a little spicy, so I animated them to be really quirky. For the next hour, I was trying to figure out how to get the pieces to not spawn on top of each other because that's bad. After a bit of math, I decided, wait, why don't I just use a nav mesh? That will make my life so much easier. Hey, look at that. Works great. Afterwards, I started doing some research and tried emulating car UI because my little fuel bar at the bottom left is pretty gross. I'll keep the bar around just in case it comes back in handy. I made this speedometer and used it as a fuel gauge and made it show the speed of the car. Oh, the car is kind of slow actually. I tweaked the math a little bit and faked the actual measurements so that the speed actually reads much faster. That way, even though you're averaging the speed of a normal hoopty, the number is a lot more appetizing. I added headlights to the car and added an input for high beams. Why would you need high beams? So you can see at night, stupid! Last thing I did was add a clock to the HUD and passed out for the night. I didn't really do anything today, so I'll just talk about my team instead. So Sam got around to making some really nice VFX, while Tyler got around to importing a new landscape into the game, while Brendan got around to sculpting out new props and new environmental pieces, and all I can say is, wow. It's starting to feel like a game, guys. I'm so proud of us. I did model some junk in this dog, but that's literally all I did today. But if anything, it was a good day of rest. As a resident UI man, I started working on the main menu. The idea of the menu was to have the sun at dawn and have the car stare at the mountain just showing, hey, go here. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the title screen, and since no one came up with a better name than Road Mode, I just kept it. It's Road Mode now. The game is Road Mode. I tried spicing it up by having the title bulge, and this is what I came up with. It looked good enough. I wanted to also show just how close you are to the goal, so I started drawing a car in a mini angular form and made a slider that moves it from one side to the other. My first method for calculating distance was to have 2 points placed in the world, but the issue with this method is that it only tests how far you are. It doesn't matter if you follow a path or anything, it works really well for straight lines. And we don't plan on making this just a straight line game, so we opted for a line-based system instead. The distance along the spline dictates your progress on the progress bar, and I think it just works better for our needs. Wait a minute, what's that? Is this a timer that I made and I forgot to record footage for? Whoa, dude. Anyway, last thing I did was mock up some cops to act as one of the obstacles in the game, and oh my god, they're so relentless. 1 week in, boys. I smell victory on the horizon. Let's keep this momentum going. Brendan finished working on the car materials and I added them to the game, and by golly, it adds so much to the game, it's not even funny. It feels so full of life when you're trying to escape from the Terminator cops. What also adds life is my reverse lights, because I'm extra that way. Then the rest of the day was focused on the options menu, so that hopefully people can play our game, unlike the last time we tried doing a game jam. Yeah, it didn't go as well as we would hoped. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to mention that I made the car pitch and roll so you can be like a real airplane now. Look at that. Look how majestic this is. I'm a real airplane now. Oh my god, I'm so tired of developing this thing. Why are option menus so much work? In the time it took me to make this, for them, my team made good strides. Like for one, the mountain has color. Whoa. 2, the mountain has roads. Double whoa. And I made part of a menu. Let's at least see what Dunkey thinks of my menu. Hopefully it's not a complete waste. I didn't want to work on more menu stuff, so I started working on the endgame sequences. So far it's pretty simple. I set up the car to explode when you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit. When you fall into a pit, you fall into a pit or run out of gas, you know, like cars do. I found a lot of redundancy in my script, so I cut a lot of that out, so day 11 was pretty short. Anyway, let's move on. I went back to making menus. Just kidding. Today was about looking good. I had sparks for when you scrape against stuff. I imported the textures for the campsite and imported the junk that I made. Which one? Slapped a free use earth image onto my globe and made one of the most insane materials ever. Red, brown, white, this color. Using the junk models, I made a new Niagara emitter that shoots out all of dude's little stuff so it looks like he's losing everything, like a careless idiot. The point of the game is to drive in a forest, and I don't know about you, but this doesn't look like any forest I've ever seen, so I started painting in this tree, and that's too dense. Is it obvious I'm not an environmental artist? Oh my god, oof. Despite how much I wasn't enjoying the forest, I pressed on, and I made this road mile and applied it to all the landscape splines, and it's coming along. Could be worse. At least Dunkey liked my tweet. That gives me a little bit more power to move on. Won't lie, I'm getting really tired of looking at this game, but show must go on. I made a new road texture to make the roads look more like roads, and did my best to do more level design. Then guess what? I did menus. I actually did it this time. This one wasn't as intense, but yeah, I started working on the game over menu so that when you die, you can actually go back to the checkpoints and go to the menu. You know, the checkpoints that aren't made yet, but you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Oh my god, it's 7 p.m. Where did the time go? Okay, whew. Dev mode activated. I have this new cop texture from Brendan, so today I guess is going to be cop day. Okay, now what? Well, I guess while I'm working with cars, I'll make a new obstacle, traffic. No one likes traffic, and I plan on making this no different. The plan is to make it so that cars follow a spline. So I laid down a spline and made a car, and then, yeah, they tank performance. So with a little bit of magic, Magic has decided not to be lazy and made a custom traffic pond. They work! I made a simple color randomizer, and voila, traffic is trafficking. I wanted to take a break from programming, so I got with my friend. So we had some fun writing some dialogue for the game, and ahem. Silence, please. I always had a nice fondness for my grandson. Unlike his father, dude actually has a brain. His father was always nice, but who the heck names their kid dude? I love him, but that poor child. At least he grew up to be a scientist like his good old grandpa. Thank you. You can hold your applause. I made the cassette tape pickup and littered them across the map. No spoilers, but you know, go find them. The next thing on my list for the night was to finally implement water. I filled the canyon with water, making it into a lake, then did a little magic, and it does that now. If you don't want it to do that, you can finally go into boat mode. Yay! Oh yeah, how did I forget? I made the ability for the cops to catch you, you darn scoundrel. Speaking of cops, I also made it so that they don't start the game coming after you. Instead, I made this bounding box so that when you hit it, that's when the fuzz comes after you. Don't be a menace, or you might find a butt ton of cops trailing you. If you haven't noticed, we have an isometric view of the game, and that just means that we have a locked view from an angle. For the most part, this looks very wonderful and beautiful, but sometimes the cars get lost behind meshes, so check this out. Now you can see the car through walls. That's the best I can come up with for now, but yeah, it helps. So today I actually had some people playtest the game to see how people react to it and see if it actually does what I want it to do. So these are the things that I noticed. First, no one was able to drift consistently, thus losing gas was way too easy. Second, people didn't realize there was gas until they died and saw that they were out of gas. Third, the goal wasn't clear enough. Fourth, no one found a single tape. Let's fix those things. The first and easy change was the UI. I overhauled the UI by making the fuel back into a bar. Told you this was going to come back in handy. And I made it so it was obvious what gave and took away fuel as you were doing the actions. Just some nice easy visual nods. That takes care of point 2, but for point 1, the solution is to finish the checkpoint system and add fuel cans. The main reason for this was not to make drifting less important, but to shift the focus to exploring rather than being a stunt master. Also, it was just about time to finish the checkpoint system. As soon as we hit the checkpoint, it fuels up your gas. For points 3 and 4, I decided to kill both birds with one stone. I modeled this cabin, and then I committed a sin. I auto-unwrapped. It didn't come out too bad. I hate auto-unwrapping. I threw it into Unreal and applied some base materials. Let me scale those UVs up a little bit. Let me scale those UVs back down. Alright, that looks pretty good. I placed a cabin at the top of the mountain and put tape up there. So how does this help? Well, I place a camera and now the game starts here and zooms all the way down to the player. Fancy stuff, I know. Okay, so I cleared all that up, and it was a pretty big chunk of today's to-do list, so what's next? I got my writing hand and finished up the script, and, well, I need to figure out how I'm going to handle the endings. I thought back to the beautiful art of Celeste, and I was like, I think I'm going to do that. This was the result. Yeah, I'm a 3D artist, not a 2D artist, alright? Leave me alone. If I have time, I'll make a cozy 3D scene, but yeah, this... Bleh. I cleaned the roads like a good citizen, scattered some rocks, and oh yeah, I forgot. Brendan got me a new cactus. Okay, let's make a quick list of what needs to be done still. Alright, 1. Get the sounds in the game. Tyler should have that handled. 2. Texture the cabin properly. Brendan has that covered. 3. Make the landscape and the lighting better. Sam has that covered. You know what? I think we're good. I don't really have anything. Oh my god. I still gotta get the tapes working, the endings working, the voice acting for the cops.
Suspect is in a green crappy sedan. It hurts my eyes.
I need to make the pause menu, I need to make the credits menu, I need to make the tapes menu. Still got a ton of stuff on my plate, but let's get eating. I guess. For the jam, we are allotted 5 members for our team, and up until now we've only had 4. I need a good old man voice, so I got another friend to do just that. Perfect. I got into Audition and edited to sound like a cassette tape, and here's what I made.
Howdy to whoever is listening. Hopefully my grandson, Dude. I have some very important news to tell you, but you're gonna have to promise that it stays between us. I have made these cassette tapes and scattered them around Hilltown for you to find. I love you, Dude, and I cannot wait to see my grandson.
So I decided not to document the last few days because I just needed all the time left to finish the game. For the whole last sprint, I only got like 8 hours of sleep spread across the week, so to say that I was tired, that's an understatement, a complete understatement. But hey, the game is finished and I'm super proud of the team. As a quick rundown of the last sprints, I made every menu, I implemented the cassettes, got all the voice acting done, made the endings, and I made this scene for the ending so that I don't have to look at this ugly thing ever again. I also added music and then had to remove it because YouTube claimed it, and I don't want to flirt with the idea of being disqualified. So sorry to all those people who kept saying that the game is a little too silent. Yeah, we know. Something I really like about game jams is playing different games and being part of a community of developers. So even if I don't win with my crew, at least we got to see a lot of cool talent and got to see people enjoy our game, which is something that we don't get very often. And it was such a wonderful thing to see. This video was a lot of work to make, and I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed producing it. I'm very proud of it, and I feel like it was a big step up from my last video. And I wanted to say thank you for all the kind words on my last video. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, but I've always been either too nervous or had too much happening in my life to be able to pursue making videos like this. So let's hope for a super solid 2024. Like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you around.